Meet Dale Pembroke. Dale spent 3 years stacking carrots. Every carrot earned, every carrot saved. He finally opened his shop. High-end clothing, tailored suits, the kind of place the rabbit world was missing. Opening day? Packed. Customers lined up around the block. Cards tapped. Bags handed over. Receipts printed. Dale was grinning ear to ear. Then he got home, opened his banking app, and stopped smiling. The carrots weren't adding up. He'd moved 12,000 carrots worth of merchandise. His account showed 11,100. Nearly 1,000 carrots. Gone. He didn't lose them. They were taken, quietly, automatically, on every single transaction. But taken by who? The pair. You've heard of monopolies. One company, total control. The whole board to themselves. But what do you call it when two companies carve the board in half and agree to own it together? That's a duopoly. And it's somehow worse. See, with a monopoly, you at least know who the enemy is. With a duopoly, they dress it up as competition. Two choices. The illusion of a market. Think about it this way. Picture the entire rabbit world's payment system as a massive toll road. Every single carrot that moves digitally, every tap, every swipe, every online checkout has to pass through a toll booth. And both toll booths? Owned by the pair. According to sources across the grapevine, the pair controls close to 90% of all digital payment processing in the rabbit world. Outside of a few eastern warrens, there is no road that bypasses their toll booths. 90%. Let that sink in. So how did two companies end up owning the rabbit world's carrot flow? Was it genius? Timing? Or something a little less clean? Let's go back, way back, to a time before digital payments existed. Back when the payment world looked more like a street market than a financial system. IOUs here, ledger books there, the occasional handshake deal. It worked, but it was messy. Enter two brothers, Blue and Orange, and they saw something nobody else did. If they could get the biggest banks in the rabbit world to run payments through their system, just theirs, they wouldn't need to own anything else. The carrot would always flow through their pipes. So they started pitching. First to shopkeepers. Sign up with us. We'll handle the messy part. No more fraud. No more bad trades. We'll keep your carrots safe. And honestly, back then it sounded reasonable. Digital payments were brand new. Security was a real problem. A partner who handled that? Sure. Then they went to the next shopkeeper. And the next. And the next. By the time the 1980s rolled around, the pair had hundreds of thousands of merchants on their network. And customers followed. Because where merchants go, buyers follow. And that's when the pair made their real move. They went to the banks. And they didn't ask nicely. They offered exclusivity deals. Sign with us exclusively or lose access to our entire merchant network. For the banks, refusing wasn't really an option. Say no to the pair, and your customers couldn't shop at half the stores in the rabbit world. No carrots in, no carrots out. A bank that can't move carrots is not a bank, it's a waiting room. So they signed, one by one. And the pair tightened their grip, one contract at a time. Not by chance, but by design. Of course, others tried to get in. Every few years, a new payment network would pop up, promising lower fees, faster processing, a fairer deal. And then, according to sources from the grapevine, strange things would happen. Transactions on rivals' cards would process just a little slower, or not at all. A spinning wheel, a failed payment, a frustrated customer. Not sabotage, of course, just a little bad luck. Coincidence? Then there were the rules. If a shopkeeper dared to promote a competitor card, maybe put a little sign up by the register, maybe offer a small discount to customers who used an alternative, they'd quietly find their fee structure had been revised. No call, no letter, no explanation, just numbers. Higher numbers. All strictly business, of course. The message was clear. Play by their rules, or play no game at all. By the time most rabbits noticed what was happening, the pair had woven themselves into every corner of the payment system. They weren't just part of the infrastructure anymore. They were the infrastructure, the gatekeepers, the toll collectors, the ones who decided who could and couldn't move carrots. Back to Dale Pembroke. He didn't have a choice. Accept the pair's cards or watch customers walk out empty-handed. Because in the rabbit world, nearly everyone pays with a blue or orange card. So Dale pays, every month. Processing fees that never go down. They only ever creep up. For small business rabbits like Dale, those fees are the second biggest expense after rent. You heard that right. Second only to the roof over their heads. Some call it the cost of doing business. Dale calls it daylight robbery, and it goes way beyond fees. Any competitor that grows fast enough to threaten the pair? Bought out, absorbed, or buried in compliance requirements until they collapse. The rabbit world has seen it happen again and again. A fresh face shows up with a better product. Give it 18 months. They've either been acquired by the pair or they've quietly disappeared. But it gets worse. The pair doesn't just want to own the payment lane. They want to control what travels through it. There have been cases where major digital platforms change their content policies overnight, pulling entire categories of legal products and services. And when pressed, their answer was always the same. The payment processors required it. See, the pair doesn't need to make laws. They just control the money. And if you can't take payments, you can't run a business. Full stop. That's not a payment company anymore. That's a regulatory body, an unelected one, with no oversight and no appeals process. And the regular rabbit on the street? They feel it too. Every fee Dale pays gets passed to his customers. Because what else is he supposed to do? Eat the cost. So your carrots buy a little less each year. Your coffee costs a little more. Your rent nudges up, not because of inflation, because of a hidden tax baked into every single transaction. That's by design. Now, to be fair, the pair didn't technically break any laws to get where they are. No single moment where they crossed a clear line. It was 1,000 small moves over 60 years. Legal, strategic, and ruthlessly effective. And to their credit, if we're being generous, they did build real infrastructure. The rabbit world's digital payment system wouldn't exist the way it does without them. But, and this is a big but, the Eastern Warren proved it doesn't have to be this way. Over in the Eastern Rabbit Lands, let's call it the Woolworthy region, they got tired of the pair's games, high fees, exclusivity traps, take it or leave it ultimatums. So they built their own, WRPay, a domestic payment network. Lower fees, open access, built by and for the Warrens of the East. The pair was not happy. They lobbied. They complained to the U.S. Rabbit World trade offices. They cried unfair competition. The Woolworthy region told them to sit down. They passed laws. No more exclusive deals. Every shop had to accept WRPay. Every bank had to offer it as an option. The result? WRPay's market share exploded. Merchants' fees dropped. Customers had real choice for the first time in decades. And the pair? Suddenly very interested in competing on price. Funny how that works. The point? The duopoly isn't permanent. It's maintained by rules, by contracts, by a system designed to keep alternatives out. Change the rules and the whole thing wobbles. Dale Pembroke isn't sitting quietly anymore. He found other shopkeepers, all dealing with the same creeping fees, the same draconian rules, the same strictly business shrug. They formed a coalition, started talking to carrot representatives, started asking uncomfortable questions at town halls. And across the rabbit world, the pressure is building. Senate hearings, regulatory investigations, new legislation that would force the pair to face real competition for the first time in half a century. It's not over. Not even close. The pair has the best lawyers, the deepest pockets, and 60 years of embedded infrastructure on their side. But here's the thing. The rabbit world is finally paying attention. And once rabbits start following the carrots, really following where the carrots go and who collects them, things tend to change. Ask your local representatives where they stand on payment reform. Support small businesses that are pushing for change. Stop treating "that's just how it works" as an acceptable answer, because "that's how it works" is exactly what the pair wants you to believe. That's by design too. And when in doubt, as we always say here in the Warren, follow the carrots. So, if any rabbits out there are feeling a little unsettled right now, just remember, this is a completely hypothetical explainer about digital payment duopolies, illustrated using a fictional rabbit world where everyone pays in carrots. Any resemblance to two very large, very blue and very orange real-world payment companies is entirely coincidental. The Carrot Republic is a fictional place. CarrotNet Processing Corp is a fictional institution. The Woolworthy region is a fictional territory. Nobody named Dale Pembroke was harmed in the making of this video. Probably. This video is for educational purposes only. Please do not sue Rabbit. Rabbit has no carrots. Rabbit spent them all making this video. Thank you so much for watching.